Yep, my people. What up, though? We live with another episode of All Black Men Need Therapy. My name is Chief.
And I'm Bell.
And I'm Adrian.
Oh, he following suit right now. My man's in line with it. Yo, we gonna wait for a couple. No, we not waiting for nothing. Let's get this party going. Yo, Happy New Year, fellas. I know we didn't get one in last week. We apologize to our supporters, you know what I'm saying? But it was a lot going on. But we back. We moving with consistency. We here. Do us all a favor, hit the like button right now. If you're watching, please hit the like button right now. Just do it. When you hit the like button, I see it on my screen, so I know you didn't do it. So you just hear me talking right now. Hit the button one time. Hit the like button. Nevertheless, fellas, Happy New Year, yo.
Happy New Year.
I know we covered that on the 9th and whatnot, or even on maybe the 3rd. I don't know, whenever. But nevertheless,
since the New Year, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm talking about the live episodes though. But yeah, man. I am very happy to be here. I think I need this conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Before we even jump in, I just want to thank everybody for joining us on another rendition of Therapy Thursday. As I've said before, for those who have been around for a little bit, we implemented Therapy Thursdays back in November of 2023, I want to say. And it was just an opportunity for us to bring more validity to the show with having in this case, a licensed clinical social worker and Adrian White on with us to talk about these real issues that we deal with and to have you chime in real time to potentially get some clarity on some things you may be going through, or if you have thoughts or comments on the topic at hand. So we appreciate all our supporters who've been riding with us for almost 4 years. Father's Day this year will be 4 years. So thank you. I also want to make sure I gave you a shout, and definitely go check our merch out, abmnt.com. We got some other stuff dropping. It's been kind of stale right now because we just we in the lab, as they say. But yeah.
That's what's up. It's definitely what's up. Yeah, so like you said, hit the website, abmnt.com. Yo, come on, man. You can't be on the thing and not have an ABMNT mug, man. Do better, bro.
I don't even own an ABMNT mug.
Do better, man. You got to promote, B. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we gave mine out, I think.
No doubt.
Yeah, we did, because we used it for the photo shoot and then we gave it away at the live episode.
I know those are two I had. Or maybe so. Maybe same thing. Either way.
No, we sent them to Prentice.
Maybe we did.
Yep.
Maybe we did. Speaking of that, I didn't get the bulk yet, but I did get the patches. They got mailed to me.
Cool.
Nevertheless, where we at, yo? It's been a while. Hey, Mr. White, check in, baby. How you doing? How you feeling? How you live?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm in a good space. I got this gym membership. I only been once this year. You know what I'm saying? So
celebrate progress.
Yeah. At least I got it, right? At least I got it. So I still need to take that off. Been doing a lot of planning with the wife because we got so many different businesses. So we still trying to iron out, what we need to focus on, which one we need to prioritize, just things like that. And then of course, having the huge blended family, it's always something. So just trying to be as proactive as possible. But overall, I'm doing good. I think I'm about a 7.5, 8. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing really good this week.
That's what's up. Bellhead, what's good with you? Check in on me.
A lot going on. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. I'm sick, man. I'll be honest. I didn't think I was gonna be able to record tonight. Like, I've been literally in the bed, bro, for the last 2 days, like bedridden. I had a work conference on Saturday in New York, and I must have got sick there. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but man, I came back, and for Martin Luther King Day, I felt like something was going on, but it wasn't fully engulfed in me yet. But pause, that was crazy. Anyway, Tuesday and Wednesday, man. I mean, I woke up on Tuesday and I was just like, yo, I had body aches, which I never get. So I'm like, I either got the flu or COVID, and I tested myself. I didn't have COVID. But then I just found out today, apparently this new strain of COVID that's going around don't show up on the at home test. only the PCRs. So who the hell knows? I guess I might have COVID. I might have a flu. I really don't know. But I will say that my mother-in-law had told the wife about these elderberry, I keep saying elderberry shots, like these immune shots. Man, I took one of them joints yesterday. I didn't feel brand new, but I felt like used car new. You know what I'm saying? Like I was definitely like used car new, you know what I'm saying? Pay every paycheck type situation. Like I felt pretty good. And then I took another one today. And today is the first time I left the house since Monday. And I feel good, but my body's still weak though. Like
My body weary.
Yeah. Right. I started right now. I'm recording in my home office, and I started off working here in the morning, but then by noon, I'm like, man, I need to lay it down. So I'm like still fatigued and stuff, but other than that, I'm good, man. I just purchased my Grammy ticket to the after party and to the actual Grammys. So I'm looking forward to that. Prentice called me probably about 2 hours ago, made the transaction, so got that good going. I had to confirm, Chief. I'm like, yo, we don't gotta wear a tux, right? But he said, no, you can wear whatever you want. I'm gonna wear a nice suit.
Nah, them cats, they be wilding. I actually looked up like just men's Grammy fashion. They be out there wilding. Like
yeah, but we ain't them though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we in the spot. We them. Fuck you talking about? Nah, we in the spot. We gotta keep up with the Joneses.
For those listening, we're gonna do a poll. Because I know I'll be getting on Chief about him not taking heed to my advice. And he'd be taking heed, but we're gonna let y'all decide on whose suit looks better at the Grammys. That's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna do that poll. Who wore it better? It's two completely different suits. From
you don't even know what kind of suit I got.
Exactly. That's the confidence I have because of the place where I got my suit from. So anyway,
no doubt.
But yeah, that's all I got.
My check-in, man, yo, I gotta be honest, fellas. 2023 ended kind of shaky. 2024 started very shaky. I think today, it's not just today, but I'm saying like today, I'm at least like I'm always trying to keep positive spirits, but sometimes we can't control the circumstances around us, and it's just been a lot going on, man. Like a lot. Like your boy I've been going through it. I had a rough couple of days. I don't really want to get into it too tough.
It sucks that the first time I'm hearing about it is on national televised TV.
Yeah, I know. My mom told me to call you, but I ain't feel like it.
I should hang up on you.
How you gonna hang up on me online? Hang up on me online.
Yeah.
Nah, but it's been a lot going on, man, and I just been processing and just dealing. You know what I'm saying? But my mind frame says positive, says it's gonna get better. You moving in the right direction. Stay locked in, and I'm doing that. But you just sometimes can't. We can't stop the world from doing what it's gonna do.
I would love to hear Adrian's take on this, but here's the reality, man. That whole push forward and forge through, that only can work for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can remain positive all you want. You know what I'm saying? And this is an extreme example. But if you're getting stomped out in the fight, like, you can't just be like, it's going to be over pretty soon. I got to just stay positive. No, you got to protect yourself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to protect yourself and you got to deal with what's happening right now because that's all that matters. Because you may not get to tomorrow when it gets better. And I'm being very extreme, but I'm saying there's something to be said about living in the now. And you do an extremely great job at finding positives. But sometimes we've talked about this before. Sometimes I feel like that potentially could hinder you as much as you want it to propel you. I think it can also hinder you.
Yeah, and I agree. And I do live in the now, and I recognize when it gets heavy, and I process what I can and try to shovel what I can't, just to the back until I can get to it. I prioritize those stressors, you know what I'm saying, and deal with what I can deal with. Mm-hmm. And I think, subconsciously, it tends to weigh me down sometimes. and then something else gets added to it, and I don't view it as big, but it's on my spirit, and then it's still weighing me down. But like I said, it's just been rough. Like the year ended, like I put like this. I spent New Year's, like the ball dropped. I was in the emergency room at the hospital, not because of me, but like that's just how, you know what I'm saying, how the year started. Like I was at 11:59. I'm looking at the clock like Happy New Year, sitting in the emergency room. You know what I'm saying?
I could have known something was up because I ain't hear from your monkey ass in a while. But I've been sick, so I was like,
right. Listen, man, and it was just, and I told you about the panic attack. I think it's on the episode when we ain't dropping
no,
yet.
It's on. It was on the live one.
Was it live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I did talk to Adrian about it. Yeah. So that happened, but that was following suit, like into the new year. That was New Year's Day. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like that shit was wild to go through that, and then it just kept like, I can't say getting worse because it wasn't really getting worse. It just like shit just kept adding up, and it was like, damn, like kind of, you know, shit hit the fan. But the bounce back is gonna be, you know, better than ever. But it's just been a rough go round. So it's like, yo, the page got to turn sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping a positive mind frame and doing that. I got a call today, or a text message today from my cousin, and this is to anybody listening right now. Yo, they say, you know, all the time, like, you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching you move, and it's so crazy because a very long time ago, my cousin, I think she was staying with me, or her sons were staying with me. Her sons were staying with me for a while. I can't remember the circumstances. Nevertheless, remember, you know, my cousin Paris Bell.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Paris and I had not a fallout, but something happened a while ago where I had a conversation with him, and I told him how I felt, basically, about his behavior, his conduct, whatever the case may be. And that shit sat with him. I'm talking, this is at least 5 years ago. And it sat with him. And my cousin called me today like, yo, that shit is still weighing on him. Like what you said to him.
Positively.
What I said to him was more, you know, letting him know about himself and how I perceive what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you did, and this is how I feel about what you did. And that has sat with him. So now when he finds himself in a rough spot, he kind of like hears my voice in his head. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, that, you know, like I'm basically doing that same stuff. And it's like overwhelming for him. And I guess to my point, like I didn't understand or acknowledge or know the impression that I have over him, or how she's always said, like, you know, he looks up to you like, you know, you the best thing since pants with pockets. Like he looks up to you, looks up to you. And I respect that and I appreciate that, you know, being the elder in the family, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I guess in his particular case, it's like a sincere type, I don't know what the word is, icon type, whatever you want to use it, but like, you know, mentor, role model type figure for him. So what I said to him really, like, I guess it stuck with him. It stuck with him. So now I told him I'll pick him up tomorrow. He and I are gonna have a conversation. We're gonna try to work through some things. But it was eye-opening to me just to kind of be like something that I said moons ago that, you know, obviously I hold no ill will towards him, but he feels like I do. Because
he hasn't corrected the behavior.
And because he and I haven't necessarily had a conversation, like a deep conversation since then. Like I see him in passing at family functions, whatever, we hug, you know, it's all good. But we haven't had a conversation about how he feels about the conversation we had. So like at that time, he might have been 19-ish. So I don't think he was ready to go back and forth in the conversation. Kind of just took what I said, acknowledged it, and kept it pushing. He didn't really get his part out. You know what I'm saying? So I think now, moons later, we get a chance to sit down and talk about it tomorrow. So I get to see how he feels. But it's kind of bothersome to know that, one, I didn't give him an opportunity to say his piece. Not necessarily didn't give it to him, but like I didn't.
The space didn't allow for it.
Yeah. I mean, in that moment, it was just, this is how I feel. And I probably, you know, gave him an opportunity to, but because, you know, the respect thing and him being so young. Psychological size, he wasn't ready to have that conversation. Now that he's mature a little bit, I think, you know, he's ready to open the door for it, but I didn't realize the impact it had. So I'm kind of, I don't want to say nervous, but I just want to make sure that, you know, he's in a good space and that we're in a good space. And I don't want him to think that I look down on him or look at him a certain way. So tomorrow's going to be a deep conversation I'm going to have with him to kind of hopefully help him move in a better direction.
I would just make sure you address some positive things in there too.
Oh, without a
You know
doubt.
what I'm saying? So as
Without
long
a
as
doubt.
you use that sandwich model, start off with the positive things. I'm glad we even having this conversation, and you let it build. That shows your growth as a man, and you know what I'm saying. Then get into the nitty gritty, then end that bad boy off with some more positive things. But you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna map it out. But it was more so my negligence to recognize the impact I had on him. Like I always knew, like I was a mentor type role model to him, but I didn't know how serious it was. You know what I'm saying? Now I almost feel like I let him down.
Is that how heavy is that on you? Because sometimes I think, when we drop the ball, like we're human, we still learning, and we literally just don't know. And sometimes we could still hold on to some of our faults like that a little too harsh or a little too much. So how big of a role would you say that plays in your year starting off the way it is?
So I can't say that it's huge on me because it literally, this was a couple hours ago. I just got this information and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit him tomorrow. So it won't eat me up because I'm like, tomorrow we're gonna handle this. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I had a chance to let it linger and fester upon it. So it was just eye-opening to finally acknowledge the impact that I had on this young man. I'll give you an example. I think he might be struggling with a little bit of confidence just because he was also, Bell, given the 100 Men of Color acknowledgement this season, this past one.
Oh, word.
That I was there, but he didn't go. He told his mom he didn't go because he didn't feel like he deserved it.
There may be some validity to that too, though.
It may be, but
not that he didn't deserve it, like on his face, but why he doesn't feel like he deserved it.
Right, and that's the conversation we're gonna have. But I gotta, at the end of the day, like we've had this conversation, like you gotta let people support you, and if someone acknowledged you as that, someone wrote a letter in recommending you.
But hold on though, because you also have to meet people where they are.
Right. No, for sure.
So it's like you could tell him till you blue in the face that you gotta let this happen. But if he don't feel like he's worthy, then there's another mountain to climb.
And that's
you know what I'm saying. So like that's the other piece. But what I want to know is, I know you're gonna have the conversation tomorrow, but did you feel wrong in what you said to him? I'm just curious, like
no,
why this is weighing on you.
No, because I think it's more so it's not the what I said to him. I didn't like disrespect him. He did something foul, and I told him about it and how I feel about it. I think it was something along the lines of like, based on how you're moving, I don't know if I can trust you around my kids. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I think that kind of hurt him because, and that's moving into today's topic, trust. But I think that is what really stung for him, and he's been holding on to that. You know what I'm saying? But again, I haven't heard from him. I've only heard from his mother.
Yeah.
So when I talk to him, he and I are gonna, we're gonna have a conversation. I'll be able to hear him out and just see how he feels. And the conversation will go full circle, I'm sure. But it was just eye opening to me, like I said, that I didn't recognize the impact that, that I had over him. So to my point, like somebody's always watching, yo.
Yeah.
So with that being said, today's topic is trust, y'all. And I dove back into an old episode, Bell, and I thought about it after I pulled that clip. I really think we should tap back into old episodes and kind of pull clips up and almost revisit them and see the growth between now and then. So I'm gonna play the clip that I pulled of you later so you can see it. But I think it'd be dope to just assess our own growth from that point to now, because the clip I'm pulling is from like 2021. It's actually from February 18th, 2021, which is the irony in that is on the 18th. That's we the 18th this year. We fly out to San Diego to do our little, our in-person joint. I think that's pretty dope. But it's
not
trust
the 18th, though. But
it's
not the 18th.
It ain't the 18th.
No, that's you in logistics. It's cool. It's the 20th.
The event's on the 20th, though.
No, it's not. We're good.
All right. The event's on the 21st. My bad. Whatever. Event's on the 21st. We fly back on the 22nd. You're right. My bad. Nevertheless, I got some on the 18th. Then check my calendar.
Exactly my point. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there.
So when I was watching the episode, I kind of pulled some of the questions from the episode, and it what's crazy is the question I'm going to ask right now was like towards the tail end of the episode when it probably should have been the first question of the episode.
What was the title of the episode? Do you remember?
Dare to Trust.
Okay.
So the question is, where do we learn to trust? Who
You want to play
teaches
the clip,
us?
or you want us to answer that first?
No. I'm gonna play the clip after, but who teaches us how to trust? Like, where does that come from, Mr. White? Like, I'm saying, like,
So I would say initially it starts from like birth to like 18 months. Eric Erickson, he has this stages of development, and that first stage from 0 to I think it's like 18 months is trust versus mistrust, right? So it starts when we're a child. So it comes pretty much from our parents or whoever our primary caregiver is. It's their ability to show up for us, right? To provide that safe space for us when we're crying, to feed us on time, all of those things. And we know like trust is on a scale, but when those needs are met at that age, the child typically will grow up just being more trusting because he was given that security during that time. So I think that plays a large role in itself, especially when you look at like the newer generation that's coming up and how they just get thrown in front of like TVs or just like ignored because parents is working and things like that. And so nobody is really, or they're even in daycares. Like that's one thing I'm thankful for, that my wife is home with the kids, because she literally they cry, she's there taking care of them. You know what I'm saying? So those voids are being filled. So I think they will be able to trust and develop, positive relationships. And then from there, I think it just stems from their community as that just continues to grow.
no doubt, obviously, very valid and what's the word I'm looking for? No, that's not the political answer. It's a therapeutic answer. But as it pertains to yourself, can you reflect back to your earliest involvement with trust, in good, bad, or indifferent?
If I think about it, when did I stop trusting people? I think it would have to go back to when I was disappointed first, like when my first real disappointment started to happen. And I think it go back to my dad, man. Like we was just talking about fathers the other week, but I think about like with me growing up in Connecticut and him being in North Carolina, he would always promise me things like for Christmas and birthdays. And then I found out it was my mom who would give it to me because he never, sent it. And so that, all right, cool. I can't really not only trust you, I think that affected my ability to just trust adult men in general, to where it's like nobody can really tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably say that's when the mistrust started. Probably up until then, I think I could have possibly been pretty naive because I had a really tight family and then even a circle of homeboys. And so outside of that, it wasn't many people.
No doubt. What about you, Bell? What was the first, like, if you dial it back as far as you can remember, like your first instance when like trusting someone or not trusting them? Can you recall?
I'll answer that question second. Adrian, where'd you live in Connecticut? I didn't even know you lived in Connecticut.
Oh yeah, Middletown.
You went to school out there?
Mm-hmm. Till
high school?
Yeah, high school. I went to Middletown High, and then I went to Elizabeth City. I moved down to North Carolina. Got you.
I think this question, I love the answer you gave initially, Adrian, from was it Eric Erickson? I may have, yeah. I love that answer. I also think though it's a bit of both. Like I think it's nature and nurture, because I agree. Like the first time you will see it is in your home, and I didn't think about it till you said it, but it's true. It's like if you're crying because you're hungry and you get fed, you'll then learn that your needs will be met. Especially if it happens repeatedly. So it makes perfect sense. But I think that only accounts for one aspect. You know what I'm saying? The people who are that you're supposed to trust. Like I think, and again, I'm not saying this is fact. I'm saying this is just my theory. I think that makes sense. Like that you can wrap your arms around that. Like, hey, this person had me, right? So yeah, I'm naturally supposed to trust them until, like you said, you have an experience that deems not trust. They no longer deem themselves trustworthy, which makes sense too. But I think for me, I don't trust people necessarily because I see I've seen things that um one could it could change your perspective. Like I've seen, and I'm not talking horrific things, but I'm saying things that it doesn't. My mindset was it doesn't benefit me to trust people outside of my house. You know, like it doesn't benefit me. Like what's there to gain? You know, other than potential loss, hurt, or disappointment. You know, because if I didn't trust them and they proved me wrong, nobody loses. You know, like nobody loses. If I did trust them and they proved me wrong, then I'm the only one who loses. So it's also like a what's the phrase I'm looking for? Survival tactic, you know, or self-preservation. That's the phrase I was looking for. It's kind of self-preservation where it's like, no, this is not gonna be at my expense. You know, like you're not gonna get over on me at my expense. I won't give you the benefit of the doubt, so you can get over on that regard, but I'm still winning if you do. You know, like that's kind of how I looked at it, and I've always trust like the people in my house. Like I've always trust them, but it's the outside world that I don't necessarily trust.
No doubt. So I was when I was just thinking about like what I wanted to talk about, and like I said, I went back to that episode. There was a specific piece you were talking about, Bill, in regards to your like
Wait,
transition and
before
moving.
you answer the question though.
Oh, I don't. When it comes, I can't think back to a point of being trusted, but I think if anything, it would have to be like Adrian. Like it would stem back to the daddy thing, where like as far as mistrust is concerned, but I never really like. Whenever it came to my mom would always hold it down, like always. So it wouldn't be any disappointment from her because it would be the little things got done. So it was like someone I could depend on, someone I could trust. So it wasn't really a question for me because I could trust my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Do
And
you,
then
do you trust people outside of your house?
I wrote. That's funny because you asked. Like I wrote that down. I think I don't know if it was trust. It was maybe like again, like Adrian said. What's the word? Naivete. I was naive. You know what I'm saying? I was naive back then, so I don't know if it was a form of trust, but I basically didn't know any better and kind of just give people the benefit of the doubt. But I think even from a young age, I was one of those people where like when you show me who you are, I understand now, so I know I can't trust you. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really
Yeah,
cutting people off.
what do you give first? Like, do you give trust and
Yeah,
then
so
allow?
I've always been a you have it, you don't have to earn it type of guy. Like you have my trust, but once I find out that I can't trust you, you'll never get it back.
Got it. That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So and that's and I think you might be the opposite though.
I am.
Like people have to like earn their way towards it. And to that point, I'm gonna play the clip. It's like a 3-minute clip, but I want you to watch it. I want to ask some questions about it because I feel like we'll talk about it after. But check it. So this is from February 18th, 2021. Check it out.
And large, I don't trust many people, right? And that's okay. I remember when our man Oss moved to the city 12, 13 years ago, whenever this was. And I remember saying when I went up there and see how and once he had made a bunch of relationships and dudes that I'm like tight with to this day that I call on my own. I fly out to see them, like good people. But I remember saying that if I would have moved to the city, I don't know that I would have made any new friends. New York City. Like I don't know that I would have made any friends because I just naturally don't trust people. You know what I'm saying? Like now I ended up trusting them and taking a liking to them because of my relationship with Oz. Right. So like I trust him with my life. I know he's not going to put me in a position to be in jeopardy. right? So those dudes are like my brothers now that I met, but I don't know. And also too, I'm always on guard. Like I said, I operate like I'm a criminal, and I'm obviously not, but like that's kind of like my mindset. So like if I'm not like the most approachable person, like in an open setting. Like if I'm not in a like a theme setting, like a networking event or like a birthday party or something like that. If not a theme setting, if I'm like in an open setting, then I don't most cases receive people well only because I'm always like I'm just very weary of people in general. Now, in the like corporate bell, right? You have to get there with my trust. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to get there with my trust. And then once you get there with my trust, and depending on our relationship, depending if it's subordinate or what, like I'm still gonna verify. You know what I'm saying? So like I may do something in the beginning to test our trust. Like maybe tell you something that it's enough it's juicy enough for you to be like, ooh, he's letting me in a little bit. But for me, not juicy enough where if you told somebody, it wouldn't bother me, right? But it'd be enough for me to know who you are, right? So to like you were saying, Prentice, you know what I'm saying? You put people in their certain boxes. So
Right.
I'll evaluate them based on little things and that I observe. And if they're gonna show you who they are, period, right? At some point, like you're gonna find out who they are. So that's how I do it. Like it my old boss used to tell me I was the toughest person he ever managed. And he's like, because you don't say anything. He's like, I can't get a read on you one way or the other. He used to say, he used to be like, he's like, when things are bad, you're calm. Things are good, you're calm. He's like, I don't know if you're coming or going. And that's not something I'm bragging about. That's something that I worked on. And I would like to think I'm getting better at it. But that's just my demeanor. And it's not like me trying to be like a tough guy or anything like that. It's just how I am.
So I know it's a little long, Bell, but there was there was a bunch of different points in there, and like as you're talking, I'm thinking of different situations that have happened or that have come up because you talked about like corporate Bell and how people have to earn your job, but then we remember the situation with the new boss and the time or the timeline joint,
Mhm.
and then you're talking about moving to the city and like not making friends, and I'm just like, or not, just because of how you move, and I see change in there, but how do you feel about that?
I think I went last year, 7 months ago. I went through this what do you want to call it? Kind of like awakening a little bit. And the awakening was I need to allow people. I need to be like you, Chief. Whereas give the people the trust and let them mess it up. You know what I'm saying? And it was wild because when I had that epiphany, it was like that same day. Like I had a vivid dream, like a vivid dream that night of somebody trying to kill me in my dream. And my whole dream, I was just escaping them trying to kill me. Now that I don't look up dreams, but that dream was so vivid and it was on the heels of like that epiphany I had. I had to look it up to see what it said. And what it said is when you dream about something like that, it's like, in fact, I text it to my executive coach so I can tell you exactly what it said. But here's what it says. It says, dreaming of someone trying to kill you could be a manifestation of internal conflicts. You might be struggling with a difficult decision or an unresolved issue that is weighing on your mind. The dream may indicate the need to confront and resolve these conflicts. It says it could mean that you are afraid of stepping outside of your comfort zone or taking risks that would lead to significant changes in your life. This is the type of dream that can serve as a reminder to face your fears and embrace change. So that dream happened on the evening of that declaration I made where I'm gonna go ahead and trust people. Now, fast forward, immediately following that meeting and that dream, I did exactly that. I trusted the people that I normally wouldn't trust. And I shouldn't say I normally wouldn't trust them. I've said this before in episodes. The way I trust people is through phases. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to prove to me that you're trustworthy, because my biggest fear is having my back against the wall and depending on you for something I feel to be true and you not showing up. So I rather have trial runs to see how trustworthy you can be, so that way when I need you, it's not going to be in question. You know what I'm saying? So in this particular case, I didn't. I allowed it. Allowed the process, whatever the process was, I allowed it to be. I'm like, I'm just going to trust they're going to have my best interest in heart. I'm going to just trust that they're going to take care of me. And the reality is this: they didn't. And that was eye-opening for me. And for me, it was like, their survival instincts for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, their survival instincts for a reason. Now, I'm not saying I can't do better at trusting people, but what I am going to say is my instincts are my instincts. You know, like, I have a gut feeling about everything that goes on in life. And sometimes I listen to that gut, sometimes I don't. But it doesn't remove the gut feeling. And with things like your future, your livelihood, there's certain things where you have to continue that process. And my process for people is the phases, because like you said, Chief, when somebody shows you who they are, you better believe them. You know what I'm saying? And I ignored a lot of those signs. I
Me
ignored
too.
a lot, and it bit me. It bit me. But it taught me too that inspect what you expect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can say, look, I trust this person, but let's inspect the process. What am I trusting them to do? And if I'm trusting them to do it, how far along are they getting it done? You know what I'm saying? So I think I swung the pendulum both ways, where I didn't trust anybody. And then I blindly trusted. And now I'm at a place where I'm going to incrementally trust you. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to continue to put phases in, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to prove to me that you're trustworthy. But I'm just going to keep checking along the way, as opposed to, I'm not going to trust you at all until you go through some shit with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, like, it served me, but I don't know if that it will still serve me.
No doubt. Yo, I'm gonna shift it real quick and then we jump back in. But yo, you talk about dreams, and I told you a dream I had the other day about you and Peanut.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't typically remember my dreams, but this another one I had a very vivid one the other day, and this was like 3 nights ago. And I was like a lion was like not after me, but like stalking me almost. Like a lion was like just following me everywhere I went. He wasn't trying to like get me though. He was just following me, and I was like deathly afraid or whatever. And I look it up, and it says the lion stalking me is a message for your connection and creativity. You are emotionally stable and healthy, but you are feeling tremendous mental strain and are trying to reach out for help. The dream signifies something that you're still trying to understand, and you are ready to move on to the next stage.
What does that mean for you?
I mean, I think it's exponentially accurate in how I'm moving in my life right now. But I also like that you are ready to move on to the next stage. Like, I feel like that's hearing like the conversations we've been having. You know what I'm saying? But like this dream kind of puts it into perspective. And then I'm looking at a bunch of different things, and it says you have a tendency to emotionally distance yourself and remain objective about the situation you are faced with. There is conflict between your rational thinking and your irrational impulses. You are not facing reality. So I'm still dissecting that part, but it was like this whole lion stalking me thing is like it spoke to me in a way that I wasn't prepared for. And it's kind of like everything I've been thinking in my head is like almost like coming into fruition via this dream. Anyway,
Yeah,
back on it.
it's making sense.
It's making it make sense. Right. We're back on to it. So Mr. White, in your particular case, people got to earn their trust, or you give it to them?
I give it. I think I might be more like Bell, man. But I think I feel like I just know what to expect of people in different levels. And it takes us to go through something before you can possibly advance to that next level. I think where people go wrong is that if they allow a person to get too close to you too soon without even being able to assess the person, right? So like with Bell, right? I never met Bell personally, but I see he shows up on time. I know he got a good relationship, with you, Chief. Okay, cool. Bell here, but I don't know how much I can vent to Bell one-on-one. Probably could, but that's not something I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt off jump. Now, if the moment presented itself, I possibly would. But I like too what Bell was saying was, hey, I'm not going to just give you like my heart right away. I'm going to give you something that I possibly already worked through, or it's not that big of a deal, but you might think it's a big of a deal just to see that you can handle it. So I think I do a great job of assessing where people need to go in my life as they enter it, right? Like if I had to, I'll look at it like Jesus with the disciples, right? So you got your crowd people, he got his 12 disciples, then he got the 3 that he was closest to. That's literally when I meet people, I literally put them in those groupings. And it can be fluent, right? You can't have a 3 and it'll be a season where they be more like a 12 or a crowd. But that's literally how I group people as I meet them, and that determines how much I trust them with. So if it's anything like regarding my family or children or something that can affect me that way, it ain't too many people who are going to have access to that. And I think that's healthy. You know what I'm saying? Then I got, my 12 who I can call on for certain things. They closer than me than everybody else. But the majority of people are crowd people. They are meant to stay at a distance. There are people who only want something for you, but when you're gone, it's out of sight, out of mind. So when I meet people, that's where you automatically are going to go.
No doubt. Hey, shout out to O Douglas. He says he usually listen to us on Spotify. Great to see y'all. So shout out to O Douglas. We appreciate you, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I can see that. And I think the same way we kind of, so you made a good transition, but the same way we kind of vet our women, we kind of vet the people we can trust or not. Like I'm big on energy. Like I can tell energy, like I'm real big on that initial energy in the moment. Like it tells me a lot. But Mr. White, the trust for men and women varies significantly as we give it to them. Because I was thinking about, there are many women that we trust, but very few we trust to be vulnerable with. Like like there's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? And like, how do we, or what does it take for us men to establish that level of trust where we can kind of just relax our shoulders and put our guard down?
I think that's a tough, that I don't, not to say you were looking for a blanket answer and shit. Maybe Adrian has one, but that's a loaded question. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we in our process of moving forward in therapy, we try to throw some gems at the people, and I think being able to offer some advice on how we can lower our guard, because ultimately men are not talking, men are not reaching out, men are not seeking therapy because we don't trust. As much as it's stigmatized and all that other stuff, like trust is the root of it.
Yeah, trust, and I would argue worthiness. Meaning, like minimizing your experience / feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm stressed out about, like, let's just say hypothetically, right? I'm stressed out about my job and I'm stressed out about parenting, right? Just like say I'm stressed out about that. I can easily convince myself that, nah, people got real problems. You know what I'm saying? Like these aren't real problems. Like I don't like, I don't need to go to a therapist for this. You know what I'm saying? Like I could convince myself of that. Like, so that's what I mean, like worthiness.
I had that moment last night, yo, in the middle of like my emotional state or whatever. Dropping Mia off, or went to go see Mia real quick, and it's 11 degrees outside, and I'm, just talking to my daughter real quick about, she was stressed out. They making her run the 600. She, I don't want to run the 600, Dad. I want to do the 100 and the 55. So she's doing track now, Bell.
Yo, 600. I didn't even know that was a race. I thought it was
It's indoor. Indoor. So indoor, indoor is always a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And we were just talking about it, whatever. And then there was a dude who was pushing the bottle carriage by us, and like it's 11 degrees outside. And I'm just, to your point, I'm like, yo, like some people got it rougher than you, bro. Like just my man got real problems. Like it's 11 degrees outside and he's sifting through the garbages. You know what I'm saying? So so I mean,
but it doesn't mean, like I'm with you, but it doesn't make our problems less significant. Like I said, my daughter taught me this lesson. It's like, like it doesn't, just because it's not my problem doesn't mean it's not a real problem, right? Like, or he may not even look at it like a problem. Potentially, that may be all he know. You know what I'm saying?
Like shout out to my man Shannon Sharp. He said never judge a man by where he's standing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you see the bum on the sidewalks. Yesterday he was under the bridge, so you don't know how far he came. You know what I'm saying? And but still, it's just like with the things that we consider problems is,
But that's the thing. It's like, what do we even consider problems? You know what I'm saying? Like how much of this shit has been normalized to the point where we just suffice to say, oh, this is just life. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we even identify that as a problem? That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's the worthiness. Like, no, this isn't a real problem. Yes, the fuck it is. Right? Like,
right. Hey, question. We changed subject, but like as far as the love question, the trust. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Real quick, Mr. White. Would you rather be loved or trusted?
I'd rather be loved or loved.
Okay. And I'm gonna tell you, I was at this conference and he asked everybody the same thing, and the majority of the room said loved. And then the way he broke it down was Kevin Ollie. Shout out to Kevin Ollie. He was like, at the end of the day, Adrian, I can still love you, but I can't trust you. Like we talked about, like Uncle Ray Ray. He come by the crib and he's still, so you can't trust him in your crib. You still love him,
Paris.
But you can't trust him in your house, Paris. But that's extreme. We'll talk about that later. But
no, but what I'm saying is that's how he looks at it. Like, you love him, but you don't trust him.
Right. And that's and that's the thing. And it's just like, at the end of the day, we would rather be trusted, because I think the more I can trust you, the more I'm able to love you. Like I can if I don't trust you, it creates a huge gap in our relationship.
So even from that standpoint, I still would prefer to be loved, because I think with love, if you based off of the definition or my definition, love is patient, love is kind, love is never about itself. So if you love me, literally everything that you do towards me is for my good, no matter what, right? Versus if you just trust me, that means you trust how I'm dealing with you. But with love, I'm receiving something. You see what I'm saying? Versus like, if you trust me, Chief, I'm not really receiving anything. That's just more about my ability to be able to maybe help you do something, or, you know what I'm saying? Your ability to be able to open up to me. I don't really get nothing from it. But, and the only reason why I would have gave you a different answer before I was married, but like the way my wife be like loving me, like the person, I'm taking that over anything. It's something I never felt before.
Yeah, but what if she told you she don't trust you?
She hasn't always trusted me, and she still loved me. And so I see the difference, like the because even when she won't trust me, she will fight to still show me love. Even when she's upset with something I've done, she still fought through that and still shown me love, right? Like not agape. I'm not saying it's God level, but it's on a level that I had never experienced in my life.
Yeah, and I also think about it like this. Like if I trust somebody and don't love them, once they break that trust, that's it. The relationship's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas if I love somebody and they slip up, they do something wrong, I can work myself back there. Even with the uncle situation, like you had a crackhead uncle that be stealing. Like, I think you hit on it, Adrian, but I'm trustworthy. You see what I'm saying? So whether you trust me or you don't trust me, I know how I'm gonna show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is a foregone conclusion for me. Love isn't. Love isn't. And like, I think there's instances where they could be standalone. You know, like I don't need to love my financial advisor. I need to trust that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to
Right.
love him. Like love ain't gonna help me. You know what I'm saying? I need to trust him. So I don't think it's one size fits all. I think same thing. Like if we think about it, right? You go to a restaurant, you need to trust that the chef ain't doing nothing to your food. You know what I mean? You don't need to love him, but you need to trust that he's doing because love could potentially not well, that's the other thing, the other part of that question is like, is it unilateral or does it go both ways? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it this person loves me and I love them back? Or is it would you rather be loved or trusted, or would you rather receive it? Would you rather have it not rather? Would you rather be loved or trusted? One question. Or is the question, would you rather be loved unconditionally both ways and trusted unconditionally both ways? Do you see what I'm saying? Because like the way you ask the question, I'm gonna pick love every time because I know I'm trustworthy. So I'm not worried about doing nothing stupid. So whether they trust me or they don't trust me, I'm always gonna show up on the right side of that, if that makes sense.
So I got a question for both of y'all then, because with that I thought about which one I would rather receive, but then I'm thinking about which one I would rather give. So would you rather love somebody or trust somebody?
That's a different question.
Yeah. Who's I think the who's of somebody and
No, I think
the level of love we're talking.
It has to be because you didn't give all those parameters with your question. Like,
Okay. So if it has, would I rather love somebody or trust somebody?
I can answer. I'd rather love somebody.
Yeah, I think I would rather love somebody because it encompasses an abundance more emotions. Like there's so much good in good love.
Yeah, but you just said that you trust everybody anyway, but you don't love everybody.
Yeah, we trust way more people than we're willing to love. Love unconditionally, forgiveness to where the decisions you make are literally going to be to benefit them. After somebody do you wrong, right after that, you literally are putting boundaries and things in place to protect yourself. And love is never about you when it comes to loving someone else.
You know what's crazy with me? There's not one person that I trust that I don't love. Like personally.
Truly trust. Yeah.
Yeah, not like what's the word I'm looking for? Assume trust. Like I said, like you go to a restaurant, like you assume the chef is assuming your trust, right? I'm saying that I rather love somebody. That's how infrequent I give out trust, though. That I would rather love you than trust you.
That says a lot, though.
Yeah, because if I've gotten to the point that I love you, then I trust you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. It won't be another way. It won't be I can trust you and not love you. It won't work that way for me.
Mid show break, like, share, subscribe. Mid show break, like, share, subscribe. Y'all throw some subscriptions for us. Go to our YouTube page, subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button right now, one time for the one time, y'all. As my man Hamp would say, the likes help the channel the most. Hit the like button, y'all sitting there. There's a bunch of people in there right now. Hit the like button. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know it's crazy. I was just thinking about with my wife. I married her because I trusted her more so than because I loved her. Like, because it was long distance. You know what I'm saying? So you only could so much love somebody. And like I flew her out a few times. I flew down there, a few times, but I'm still learning to like love her for real. You know what I'm saying? Like I always had the sense of the protection, but the love is a lot different now that she's here. But my deciding factor, like when I married her, was because I trusted who she was. I knew I could trust her with my heart, with my family, with my business. I'm like, okay, this person is going to be with me and she will never leave me. That was the deciding factor over.
And so that's and that right there is like makes the point. If you can ultimately trust someone to the point where you want to spend the rest of your life with them, how can you not love them? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you not fall in love with, like, to your point, like you married her. So obviously, you know, the love is going to continue to grow and grow and grow. But that trust was so profound that it compelled you to make a decision for the remainder of your existence, bro. That says a lot, which tells you how powerful trust is.
That's why I said I would. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
that was advocate. I know people today that are married and love their spouse, but they don't trust them. You see what I'm saying?
That's a bad relationship. Most relationships like that, when that trust ain't there,
it don't last long, or it ain't happy.
But the fact remains that right now they love each other, but they don't trust each other. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you need both. I think they both are so important. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those top three things, and you really can't have one without the other, especially in intimate relationships.
Intimate, especially, but like you just kind of made my point for me, which is why I still hold trust in a higher regard, because you've made life-altering decisions because you trusted someone so much. Not that you didn't love her, but your trust, it sounded like it was superior to the love that you had in that moment.
The love. Well, I think too that's because we're men too. So trust is more logical. Right? Hey, you're reliable. Boom, boom, boom. Whereas love is more emotional. Right? You got to give that even when it don't make sense. Like that's literally a part of the definition. So I think for the most part we would go with trust because it's something logical. We can see it. It's tangible. You've proven it. Okay, this is who you are. This is what I'm going to get. 1 + 2 = 3. Cool. Whereas with love, that means, hey, you here no matter what you get, whether it stops, whether it continues, they there.
Yeah, I mean, even you can look at parents. You know what I'm saying? Like it has a lot of layers. Like if you're not feeding me when I'm hungry, I don't trust you to feed me. I still love you, but I don't trust you to do that. But again, it's layers, man. I don't. The more I talk about it, the more I'm thinking about my answer. I still think I would rather love than trust, but I don't know. I think the way I look at it is if you get disappointed while you love somebody, it softens the blow, if you will.
It's fair. I mean, I do believe it is a two-way street, but for me, I just, trust is hard to come by, just where we're from, how we're raised, and all that other good stuff. So when you have it, like, it's sacred for me. Like for those who are close to me, who I do trust, it would be hella like bothersome, damn near devastating to be like have that trust broken.
Yeah, but I think sometimes, I feel like you personally have different levels of trust. Like whereas I only have one. You know what I'm saying? Like where you have your trust is random to do something for you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm
right. No, yeah. I know you're saying no.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I'm saying, but like, yeah. But I mean, I'm just, I give people the benefit of the doubt, I think. And that's where like, I guess you got to call it trust because I've, but in my people though, like if you did some fuck shit, some foul shit to me, bro, like I'd be devastated. Like it would be like,
what's so wild, Chief? What's so wild to me is, and I'm positive, at least for the same people we're talking about, you can say the same thing. That's never, see, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. The reason why I put people through all these hoops is to never have to worry about that. You see what I'm saying? Like never. Like if you are in that circle, there's not a chance. I don't give a fuck what the scenario is. It's not gonna happen. Like it's not gonna happen. Like it's just not gonna. We joke one time before. I don't know if it's Lorraine who asked me. Somebody asked me. It was like, what would Chief have to do to like lose your trust or something like that? And it was like what if you came home and he had Chase through a window or something like that? And I'm like, well, what did Chase do? Like for him to go this far, but that's what I'm saying, man. Like, and for me, and again, I'm just speaking for me, like there's security in that. Like there's security in knowing that I'm not worried about it getting out of hand, no matter which way it goes. Like now, again, do I miss opportunities potentially because I don't trust a lot of people? Yeah, I'm sure I do. But what's most important to me is to not be disappointed in the moments that matter most to me. So that's why my weight is so heavily weighted on actions as opposed to words.
Yeah, and I think that's where that last phrase you said, in the moments that matter most to me, is where my trust lies. Like I don't ever want, in the moments that matter most to me, the people I do trust won't let me down.
Right. Exactly. And Adrian, to your point, I never thought I bucketed people, but I guess in speaking, in thinking out loud and speaking, I guess I do, because there's that bucket that I just referenced, and then there's everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't have multiple. It's just because even I got family members that I trust, but I don't trust them like y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not everybody. Just I'm saying there's a couple. Because again, there's something to be said too. It's like trust is relative, and here's what I mean by that. I got a cousin. I'm not gonna say his name. I love him to death. I looked up to him at one point, but that motherfucker can be shady sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like he can be shady. Like he's not like trying to get over on you, but it's some of the dealings that he does, it subsequently gets over on you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not his intention, but he did it a certain way where that's the only outcome. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you kind of got to roll with it because you're already committed to it, even though it doesn't serve you as well as the initial deal sounded, but I trust him to do that. So when things happen, I'm always like, I'll call my uncle. Like, oh, you talk to, yeah. He was like, yeah, I talked to him. All right, so what am I walking into? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll call my uncle. Like, what am I about to walk into? Like, what's happening over there? Because I know how he is. And again, I love him. I love him and I trust him. But I understand that trust comes with some conditions. Like, I may have to verify a couple more things before I just give him face value. Now, there's certain things that he gets face value. Like, if you tell me he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Like, I'm not worried about that at all. But it's just with certain transactions that you gotta question certain things. But I still trust him. But there's just different levels. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it makes sense to me. So
no doubt. Respect. Any final notes on this before we close the episode, fellas? You know we like to keep it tight on Thursdays, man. We at 103 right now. Let's go ahead and wrap it up and have this hey, Mr. White, man. We keep, you know what I'm saying? We try to keep it concise, man. Word.
What I was gonna say is, Chief, you didn't, the last episode we recorded, you didn't give a final thought.
Really?
Yeah. The at what cost episode I think it was. You didn't give it. You didn't give one. Yeah, it's all good. You'll see when you look back at it.
No doubt. Hey, shout out to everyone who came to for people who don't know, we had our 100th episode, and we did it live with a live studio audience, man, and it was super.
600 people showed up. It was dope.
Super dope, man. We had some great conversation. Man, and it was some great questions. It was real dope, man. So we're gonna continue to curate this live experience and see what we can do. I think we've decided that we like it we like it intimate. Like that intimate crowd made it like we just, did what we did, and they watched it after we had the Q&A session, and it was dope. So they weren't like in the middle of the episode, but it was real cool, man. Like a real cool vibe for sure. Had people drive up from New York to come to the taping. So it was real dope. But as far as this episode is concerned, man, I think it's important to evaluate both love and trust and how it sits in your life and how it shows up. But in my perspective, I really believe that I really believe that trust is ultimately important for
don't post them comments.
Hey man, let Mr. White Mr. White getting some love, man. He got a fan, you know what I'm saying?
That might be.
You know what I'm saying? He got a fan. Nevertheless, that's on me right there. That's my thing. Trust them. You got to be able to trust people if you're going to love them the way you want to love them. Mr. White, final thoughts.
My final thought, and I know we didn't touch on it, but I would spend time processing, people who hurt us and people who made us, who hurt you to the point to where you don't really want to trust again, right? Because a lot of us are keeping good people out that we possibly need, you know what I'm saying, that really love us, that can really help take us to another level in so many different areas. I definitely feel like season-wise, God puts different people in our lives for different reasons, and a lot of times we're rejecting them based off of something that happened before. So I definitely encourage y'all to talk to y'all mentors, get you a therapist, get you a coach, work through some of those things so that, you're not missing out on a lot of great relationships.
Go ahead.
My final thought is trust your intuition. It's there for a reason when it comes to people. I don't know. I definitely feel like we all have opportunity to grow, an opportunity for improvement. But while you're doing that, just keep your intuition in mind. Don't dismiss that in your process of growth, right? Because it served you for a very long time. So don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss it. Just keep it in mind as you grow. That's all. Like that's my final thought.
No doubt. Hey, if you're still watching, hit the like button one time before you go. Shout out to my moms, who was just a faithful supporter, held me down the past couple of days. She always been holding me down, but she be talking crazy sometimes, but whatever. Shut up. Anywho, we got a voice line. If you're going through something and need an ear to talk to, or you want to shoot us a text message, 860
on the voice line, Chief.
Huh?
Should have called me on the voice line when you was going through it, man.
860-410-6160. 860-410-6160. And Clay, yes, man. So Clay said this, like, it's cool that we're having a conversation instead of talking over each other and not listening to anything. No. We definitely like to converse and hear each other out and bounce different ideas off of one another. So this is the platform for it. So we appreciate you for tapping in.
It's random, but y'all want to hear my diet since I've been sick?
No.
I'm gonna tell you anyway. All I've been able to eat is oatmeal, soup, and apple pie. That's it.
That's
all I've been
strange.
able to. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
that was random as shit. Anyways,
because I'm about to go downstairs and warm up some apple pie.
860-410-6160. Hit us up on an email, y'all, at Mr. White is there, info@acceleratedelevation.com. That's how you can get in touch with Mr. White. He is Adrian White 23 on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, All Black Men Need Therapy. Email us at Chief Prentice. Shout out to P. He typically can't get to Thursday nights because his son got basketball games or whatever, but shout out to Prentice. And Chief Prentice or Bell at abmnt.com. So Chief at abmnt.com, Prentice at abmnt.com, Bell at abmnt.com. I think that's it, y'all. So per usual, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. do us a favor and hug a black man today
Do it.
and tomorrow.
Do it.
We out, y'all.
Peace.